expectations, like were they being friendly, and we need to be friendly, and those are really important things, because if you're doing that throughout the day, again, it kind of helps the kids to, connect with that and go, oh, we're being friendly, and that's really obvious because they're doing it. You know what I mean? They're doing it at circle. I didn't hear so much outside, but still, the point that you guys are doing it so consistently, it really helps the children to then understand and connect to that and be doing it to themselves. It's amazing. So you had a lot of PDAs linked back to your expectations, and now you're kind of wanting to move forward again with using the solution cards. And I think especially for Cindy next year, because you won't be here, maybe in this time you guys have left, you can make a plan of like, how would you introduce these, and what would this look like for your classroom? So what are some ideas you have about using the solution cards, and where would you display them, or what's your thoughts about that?
Well, again, the solution cards, I will display them in the quiet area and in the dramatic area. But it all depends, because every year is different with the kids. They might be fine playing in the dramatic area, but not in the block area. So if it's in the block area, I will put the solution cards in the block area.
Yeah. And then we have smaller sets too, and these could be helpful for you guys to even have, like, kind of like what you did on those option cards you use, the blow the bubble, or was it blow out the candle and smell the flower? And push the wall, which was cool that you guys have those, because you already have those as different options. And the solution cards you can cut out and maybe put on a key ring as well.
Yeah.
And that way Cindy and the new teacher can use them. Or do you have another idea about what you could do with those to put them or use them in your classroom?
I can also do Friday during circle time. Show them, because I will introduce them first. I will show the cards, then I will model with Cindy, so we can model a behavior, and then say, oh, which one should we use? And I will introduce just a few first, not all of them.
Give them a few choices first.
I try to introduce 4 at a time, and then after explaining and introducing the solution cards to my students, I will now tell them, look, we're gonna have some in the quiet area, some in the dramatic area or block area, and then they will know. That's how I introduce the calming cards. No, the calming cards.
Okay.
Oh, and the expectations too.
I remember you said you modeled them for a week.
Yes, we did.
And that was on your plan. I added that from what you had told me last time. I remember you said that you guys put them up and that you modeled them for a week, and that the kids really started understanding, because they were seeing you and Cindy kind of act them out, right? So that's helpful. So that'll probably work with your solution cards too. It seems like that's worked for your classroom to do that. So with the solution cards too, how do you think these might help your parents? Or would you use them to give to your parents? If, say, you have a child that has some challenging behaviors, do you think that those would help your parents, or maybe the problem-solving steps, or?
Oh yeah, so I also, in one of our meetings, we could talk about the solution kit, and we can introduce them as well to the parents, and give some examples how I use them here in the classroom, that way they can use them at home.
Yeah. I mean, because look at all the participation you got today, and you could get them in here, do a song, and then talk.
Talk about
social emotional. We're going to talk about social emotional competence for your children. But really, it's a good strategy or solution for them.
Or also during the conference.
Oh yeah.
During a conference.
Like parent conference.
Yeah, parent-teacher conferences.
Oh, that's a beautiful idea.
Yeah, because not all children might need it. Well, parents probably just want if they have one with behavior problem.
Yeah. Oh, and you know what? Speaking of behaviors, so we didn't talk too much yet about we talked a little bit about the last training, but I did want to just remind you that you can, if you guys, like, say next year Cindy starts having children with challenging behaviors, and because whoever's going to come in may not have the pyramid training, but you guys have had the opportunity to fill these out, you can use the BOR reports, because this really helps you see, like, Is it happening at a certain time of
Yeah.
the day? Is it happening in a certain area? How often is it happening? You know, the before, the after, during, and all that. So these could be really helpful, and they're also good to see a trend. So if it's happening every day at the same time, like close to when the kids leave, you know, or when they first come in, it would be really helpful. So I know that was one of the things from 3A, that module 3A, that could be really helpful with behaviors, along with these other strategies, you know, for the children. And then also I brought along the book, Nick, that was from module 2. And these, you guys read a lot of stories in here, and I love your library.
No, thank you.
It's always so rich with books, and I noticed you have a lot of social emotional
Yeah.
books. And these book nooks were one of the ones that we had talked about. This was a rainbow fish, but it really connects to social emotional feelings and emotions. So, you know, even doing something like that, or you could give that out.
Okay.
How do you think that could be helpful for you guys?
Using the book note?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, I can use it for how you were saying, social emotional, and also to teach some other skills as well.
Yeah, you could. And then maybe even if the parents have some of those books at home, you know, they might use those too.
And again, I can't give this during parent-teacher
Yeah.
conferences or parent meetings.
Definitely the
Yeah,
parent
if
meeting.
the theme is literacy, I can show these.
There you go.
and kids-
Another
yeah.
idea. Yeah, you've got some really good resources through Pyramid that you guys can use and always go back through, you know, throughout your binder. And remember, there's that section in the binder that has, especially for Cindy, as she's gonna have a new
Yeah.
teacher, maybe even going over this portion, you know, that gives you all these different examples, so she can kind of help guide that teacher for next year. Because there's some really rich examples of how to do different kinds of schedules or individual schedules for children. There's kind of the train like what you
Yeah.
did for your expectations. Even some people do a necklace system. So these are really nice things to just kind of go back through and look at. And here's some pictures of the solution cards. So you might even get some ideas of other ways you want to display your solution cards in the classroom. This is the old set of solution cards in the binder. I printed the newer version. Right here. So these are in 3 different languages. They're in English, Spanish, and Chinese. And that way, they meet the needs of most of our families that we have in our program. So I'll give you those, and then here's the problem-solving steps for each of you as well. There's one, and then I think I mixed up the other page, so I'll get that. And then here's the other solution cards, and the small ones, and then this one's Cindy's. And then, do you need a copy of the BOR, or no? You wanna just get it from your binder?
Yeah, I'll get it from
Okay.
the binder. Thank you.
All right. Another thing too, just to keep PDAs alive, and using them in different areas, and then you guys did such a great job about linking back to your expectations, but this is another tool that maybe you guys can use just to kind of check yourself, like, are we really doing PDAs at, you know, different areas, sensory table manipulatives, dramatic play, block area, art area, or reading area. This is one of the activities from module 1B, and it just kind of links it back to, like, we are friendly, we are respectful, we are safe. So if you guys want to use that, it's just another tool. And then, because in the beginning your focus was PDAs, I have this one too. I know I've given you the other one, what do we do instead? I know, I love that one. But there's this one too, positive descriptive acknowledgement, and it's kind of just giving you some more ideas about it and reminders and things. So here's the ones that are on the back about dramatic play and block area and outside. So you can even maybe link those or kind of remember some of those. How was it going with the PDAs that you guys put on the little pink and yellow cards?
Oh, we need to practice more. We need to practice.
That's all right. I mean, you guys have it made, and that's always good. See, keeping it alive, right? Maybe you can make some more based on what's on there.
Yeah.
All right, so let's see. And we talked about the BORs. So this is going to be like my final visit in terms of the recording and, you know, this part, but if there's other things that I can help you guys with through the rest of the year, even like some materials for scripted stories or something like that, if you guys wanna write a scripted story before you leave, I can always come back, and plus I'll come back, probably tomorrow, or if you guys need another day, and get the survey as well.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so, we'll kinda just go through your plan. I made one for